Welcome to the Personalities in the Workplace podcast. Each week, Timogi and I are introducing you to an easy-to-understand conversation about personality types. Listen, navigating the different personalities in your business can be a tedious task, but we get it. We believe that once you understand what drives and stresses those you work with, you can better interact and steer those same people toward productivity and success. In order to help, today we're focusing on our 13th personality type, the ENTJ, who we call the Lieutenant. As we get started here, I'm going to take a very quick moment to do a little shout out to Sage Garden Care Center, who is sponsoring this episode of Personalities in the Workplace. We would love to work with you. Go check out what we offer and how we can help on our website, www.sagegardencare.org. All right, let's jump into our podcast.
Timogi here, the empowerment specialist, and I am back with Chuck Taylor. Say hi, Chuck.
Hi, good to see you again.
From Sage Garden Care Center, and we are diving into the Myers-Briggs personalities, and today on the table is the ENTJ, the Lieutenant, as Chuck calls it.
Yep. I love the Lieutenant, and look, if you need a leader, if you need somebody who is of action, who's ready to work, who's ready to go at it and get things done, this is the person that you want to have on your team. They are action-oriented, they're ready to go, they have a plan for whatever it is they're going to do, they're quick, they're fast to get going. I mean, these are the people who know how to get things done.
Wow. Okay, so the Lieutenant. Now, I've never served in our armed forces, and I honor every man and woman that has. So talk to me again, Chuck, about the characteristics that really make up this personality style.
So when I'm thinking of Lieutenant, I'm thinking of an individual that has several people that report to them. They understand the big picture of where it is we are now, where it is we're trying to go, what do we hope to accomplish, and who are the people that we need to have in charge to help us get there. These are iconically big picture individuals. These are not folks who are going to be down into the details of how to get things done. They're the ones who are pointing the direction and saying, here's where we're going, here's how we're going to get there, and people follow them probably for no other reason than their charisma and their passion to get it done. That doesn't mean there's not reasons to follow them other than that, but they're so passionate, so committed, so focused on what they want that people go, obviously they know what they're doing. Let's follow them.
Gotcha. So I hear a lot of confidence in that.
Huge amount of confidence that comes with this personality type. And especially with that directing sort of mentality. I mean, it's hard not to get infected by their passion.
Well, I'm not going to jump to the stressors just yet, because when I hear that amount of confidence, I automatically go to, well, what if you need to give them some more information, or you need to correct, so to speak, something they've said. So I'm not going to go there yet. I want to stay on their strengths. And so they're confident. What about planning? Are they good at short-term, long-term? Talk to me.
They live in the long-term planning phase, right? There's not a whole lot that they need to worry about in the day-to-day operations, because the ENTJ would say there are other people that can handle what's going on today. You need to get that work done, but we need to plan for the future because that's where we're going. And so they probably more than any other personality live in the future. Where's the future for them? It may be 2 years out. It may be 5 years out. It may be 10 years out. But they hold a picture in their mind in front of them, and they're constantly casting that future sense in front of them to other people that are in their community, that's in their workplace, that's wherever they are. So when you think Lieutenant, think CEOs, think business leaders, think presidents, think people who are, this is where we are, this is where we're going, let's go to it.
So they're delegators is what
Absolutely.
I'm hearing.
Great delegators.
And so I think of like Steve Jobs. And one of my favorite quotes from Steve Jobs was, you do not hire good people and tell them what to do. You hire good people and let them tell you what to do. So how would you see an ENTJ in that space?
Sometimes I wonder if Steve Jobs may have been a little bit more introverted than we give him credit for. He just found himself in an extroverted world.
Oh.
But I do think that there is a huge component of this, that He's absolutely right. Is you find individuals that know how to do a job well and they go do it, because the ENTJ is not going to do the work themselves. They're the dreamers. They're the planners. They're the ones who are out there saying, here's where we're going to go and here's what we're going to do. So when I think of I need a job to do, the ENTJ is going to come along and they're going to say, give me the person who knows how to do this and how to do this well. Boom. Now let them do it. And they expect that that person's actually going to do the job and do it well. That's their standard that they hold to. And if somebody doesn't, they're perfectly capable of coming in and saying, look, here's what we said do. Here's what you're doing. It doesn't measure up. You either need to fix it or we'll find somebody else who will.
You know, that reminds me when you said that they are the dreamers. My fourth book, Your Dream Needs a Team, I talk about the necessity of a team in order to fulfill any dream that you have. So I'm assuming that this ENTJ, this lieutenant, knows how to strategically place team members where they work best. Is that a fair
yes.
assumption?
When they're working at their best, they absolutely can. And the great part about this, and this is one of their strengths, is they don't get caught up in the feelings of conversations or feelings with other people. So if they get somebody in who's not doing a good job in their area, they're perfectly capable of saying, this doesn't fit you. And if they're working at their best, they're not there to be bossy for the sake of being bossy. It's more of, this area doesn't fit you. We need to get you in the right place, and this place isn't it. Let's move you.
Well, that explains why you have listed as their strengths that they are objective, but they're also in charge.
Yes, for sure. Right, because they can look at the situation for what it is. They don't get tied up or bogged down with other people who, but I've been doing this job for 15 years. Well, you may have been doing this job for 15 years, but you haven't been doing it well for 15 years. So let's get you out of this place and into a place where you can do it well, because we need to work within your strengths. Because if you're not working in your strengths, we are not going where we need to go. And that's the ultimate end game for the ENTJ. It's going where we need to go.
We want to take a brief moment here to tell you about Sage Garden Care Center and why we've made this podcast available to you. Every business can optimize productivity by educating their leaders, managers, and employees of their blind spots and pain points. We provide the knowledge and the tools to help you engage your employees to best contribute to the organization's success. We help you leverage their strengths so that you can trust they're helping your organization flourish. As an optimization coach, I help companies nationally and internationally unify their teams, effectively engage conflict, communicate well, and bolster their aptitude for success. Whether you work with a company, a church, an NGO or nonprofit, an education center, or anything else, we have trainings that will help your team. Learn more at sagegardencare.org and look for Chuck's Coaching under the Services tab. Schedule your free consultation appointment today, and we will discuss a plan that fits your budget, your needs, and your goals. All right, let's jump back into our conversation.
And I assume maximum productivity and maximum results are also what they're after.
Results, productivity, efficiency. Again, think of those business environments. They don't have time to stand around and wait and make sure that people feel good about what they're doing, and they don't have time to be nice to people about their jobs. We need to get things done and get it done well.
Okay. So they're motivated. They're in charge, they're confident, they're focused, they're objective, and you also listed that they are pioneering.
Yes. So pioneering in the sense that they're the first ones out to try something new. And this is what I love about this personality type, is that they often are not afraid to go try that new thing. Somebody says, hey, look, we need to go into this field or this arena. And they're the ones who are going to jump in and go, we can do that. Sure. I think you would be hard pressed to find an ENTJ who's not ready to go launch into something new. As a matter of fact, I would say probably one of the worst things you can say to an ENTJ is you can't do that.
Right, because they're the ones who are going to say, not only can I do it, watch me do it.
Yep.
And when you watch me do it well.
That's right. And I will accept your apology when we're done.
And I'll allow you to eat those words in front of me live on Facebook. We'll put it on my Instagram page, and the whole world is going to know that I gotcha.
Right. Right.
Gotcha. So now let's talk about some of the stressors of the ENTJ personality.
And you know what? One of the difficult things about this personality type is that they often are underappreciated, because when you heard me talk about all the things that they do well, it can be very easy to feel like they're bossy, they are... they look down on other people. They don't appreciate the values of others. It can be real easy to unappreciate the qualities of what they bring to the table. And part of this is because they are so objective, they are so logical, and they are so focused on getting a job done that they don't take time to get down into the dirty, nitty-gritty part of the feelings related to working with people. And so they can come across as crass.
Well, they appear to have it all together. Like from the outside looking in at this lieutenant, this ENTJ, you look at that person and you go, oh, this is an excellent leader. They have it all together.
Right.
They know how to weigh the abstract, with those things that are tangible. They understand that this is a dynamic workplace and things are moving and changing. And they're just able to jump in there and so you think...
Yeah.
They have it all together.
All together.
Forgetting that they're human.
Just like the rest of us. Right. And that can be a challenge. So let's talk about some of the things that stress them out. Because again, on our personality cards, the stressors are the things that stress these personalities out. They're not weaknesses necessarily. So we see some things that we already referred to. Ineffectiveness. If there's somebody who's being inefficient in the work that they're doing, this is going to stress out an ENTJ, because that's wasting time, that's wasting money, that's not doing things well. So what is inefficiency? Kind of depends on the personality of the person that you're talking to. But if I'm an ENTJ and I walk around the office and I see somebody talking about how's the weather today, well, that's 5 minutes of your time that you could be doing some work. If you want to know what the weather is, go look it up on your app.
I've worked for that person before.
Right.
Yeah, and and I will even say that when I think geographically, being a northerner versus being a southerner, right? And we talk about that New York minute. Down here, I was taught that if you don't ask about the weather, if you don't ask about someone's family, if you don't lead in your email with, hi, I hope you had a great Easter or a great Christmas or whatever holiday it is, that you're being cold and you're being callous.
Right. Right. And that's the truth is down here, there is this component that pleasantries make business work.
Yeah.
Well, you go up north, right, it's very different. And so when we bring northerners down here, it's perceived to be they're callous, they don't care, they don't appreciate people. It really is a matter of perspective.
Yeah, I've been called all of that.
Which you are absolutely not at all.
So one of the other stressors you have listed for the ENTJ lieutenant personality type is carelessness.
Yes. So, look, they have a plan. This personality type has a plan for everything they do. They have a reason for why they do what they do. And when you walk in and you disrupt that order, you disrupt that plan because you're not paying attention, because you're not focused on what's being done, that can be a big stressor for these individuals. So the laissez-faire leader, the person who's just like, oh, okay, we'll get to it when we get to it, oftentimes has a hard run-in with the ENTJ personality.
Right. And so I'm looking at, things on this personality card, including incompetence, and short-term focus. So now we're taught as leaders, these are opportunities, Chuck, to grow people, right?
Yep.
So how does a leader who has this ENTJ lieutenant personality on their mid-level management, how do they help grow this person?
It's an excellent question. So notice one of the other words that I have down here on the stressors for the lieutenant type is dependency. Because one of the areas that they're going to struggle is when another person that works under them becomes dependent on their leadership style. That can be very straining because they feel like they're having to hold their hand, because as natural born leaders, they think to themselves, I'm a leader. Why isn't everybody else a leader?
Duh.
You are one of 16 personality types, and your personality type is prone towards leadership. If there are 15 other personality types that are not like you, not to mention the people that also have ENTJ personality types that may not be working in their best functions, you're going to find that people don't respond to that leadership style well. So if you are an ENTJ and you're a great leader, but you struggle that underneath you that people aren't leading well, you may want to reevaluate how great a leader you are. Because great leaders build people up, and great leaders help empower people to be leaders themselves. So just telling people what to do and how to do it in order to fulfill a goal, that's not a leader, that's a boss.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And so I see you have listed as a stressor seclusion. I guess it's hard to lead people if you're secluded.
It absolutely is. Well, and this is what they would say, and this is one of the struggles that in the business place that we find is that these leaders will go roaming the hallways, right? Because they want that interaction, they want to check on people, they want to see what's being done. If you are not relating to the people that you're working with, one of the struggles you're going to have is people see that as monitoring or micromanaging them. And that's not the intention. I think most of the time these lieutenants are just trying to connect with people and see how things are going because they don't like seclusion. They don't like being left out of the loop. So if you're working for someone who's an ENTJ, just check in with them every so often so they're not doing that roam in the hallway, see how everybody's doing things.
Gotcha. So the lieutenant needs to have a force, their army behind them in order to get the work done.
Absolutely.
Okay, Chuck. Well, thank you so much, and we'll see you very soon with the next personality type.
It's been great.
Thank you for listening to episode 18 of the Personalities in the Workplace podcast. Remember to check out the show notes for stuff to help you with personalities in your workplace. There are these super cool personality cards that we mentioned. Just imagine if everyone in your office had one and you knew what strengths they possess or what stresses them out before you even begin your conversation. You can learn your type by following the link to take your personality assessment and invite everyone on your team to take it too. Look in the show notes for more information on Timogi Jackson and me, Chuck Taylor. We would love to work with you one day. In each episode, we are bringing you practical, tangible, and engaging conversations that will help you gain perspective on the people you work with. Join us for the next episode where we will discuss the genius, the INTJ personality type. Is there something you want to learn about regarding personalities? Just send an email to chuck@personalitiesintheworkplace.com. In our next season, I will be interviewing each personality type in the workplace. Do you want to be on the show, or do you know someone who would be great for our show? Complete the application in the show notes, and we will follow up with you. Thank you.